welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really great weekend or week if you're watching this a bit later on. So today I thought I would film my current everyday makeup because I haven't filmed a makeup tutorial kind of video in such a long time. I used to do them a lot, but I mean makeup isn't really my main interest now. I'd probably say fashion is, and then interiors are a close second, but makeup is something that I feel like I've got a really good collection now, and I just use the products I use. I don't really experiment too much, so tutorials and things aren't so much my forte anymore. But I thought an everyday makeup tutorial could be quite helpful, just so that if you want to know how I've done my makeup in a video, it's probably going to be like this, so you can just refer back to this. And I do use some really great products which I love, which I really wanted to recommend to you. So I've gathered everything up. I've just got it all in this tiny Charlotte Tilbury makeup bag. Obviously it doesn't fit. When I travel, I tend to take different products which are slightly smaller, or I'll put my brushes in a separate bag so that everything does fit. But this is what I use on like a day-to-day basis at home. I do change it up a little bit sometimes, but this is what I would say I wear 9 times out of 10. So I've already done my moisturiser and everything this morning. I've been trialling a few different ones because I just ran out of my Oskia moisturiser, so I've been seeing which one I want to use instead by using some samples, and I think I'm going to pick up the Chanel Hydra Beauty Gel Cream. If anyone's tried that, let me know what you thought of it. I've been reading a few reviews and I have tried a sample and it seems really, really nice. It's just so expensive that I'm just like, can I justify it? But I think I'm going to get that one. So I used that this morning, and now I'm just going to use this, which is the Burberry Fresh Glow BB Cream. I'm not sure if I've used this in a previous makeup tutorial or Get Ready With Me, but I've been using this again recently. I was using the Bali Body BB Cream for a while, but I'm not sure it 100% agrees with my skin, so I switched back to this and I actually really love it. I forgot how much I loved it. I used the colour Dark number 3. I don't know if there's a darker one, so the shade range isn't amazing, but it is only a BB cream, so you could probably warm it up with like a bronzing liquid. So this is a really lightweight coverage, but it's got SPF 20, which is why I quite like it for every day, because I haven't found my perfect daytime SPF yet. I just can't seem to find one which works really well for my skin, so I like to use this at least so I know I've got some SPF on my face. So I'm super lazy. I literally just pump it onto my fingers and then smush it around my face. So yeah, as you can see, it is just a really lightweight coverage, but I just love how glowy it looks on the skin, and it makes my skin feel really nice and hydrated and soft, and it just evens everything out really nicely. So yeah, I've been really loving this. And then concealer wise, I've been using the Aerin Eyelight concealer. I don't know if this is still available because I picked it up in Bicester Village, but it's a really nice concealer. I do also really love the By Terry Donzelise concealer, I think it is, and I really like the NARS one. And I really like Bobbi Brown, so there's loads of good concealers. I kind of just swap and change, but this is the one I'm using at the moment, and I do like it because it's got this kind of cooling eye thing, but I find I always squeeze out way too much, so I tend to just use my finger. And I just apply this under my eyes and a little bit around my nose. And I just blend with my finger. I'm super lazy. I don't use that many brushes or anything. I do sometimes use a beauty blender, but I'm usually just a finger gal. Again, this isn't super heavy coverage. It's just really nice and glowy and fresh and easy for every day. After I do that, I do powder. I don't always powder with my base, but this is the kind of base that you definitely would want to because the products are just so creamy and glowy. So I use the Chanel Le Beige powder. This is in the shade 30, and it's just a really nice all-round powder. It's not too mattifying, but it does just stop everything from going too shiny and creasy. So I kind of just powder my eyes, around my mouth and around my nose. And that's about it. So next I tend to move on to my eyebrows, and I've been using this product for years, so I'm sure you've probably seen it before if you've watched my old tutorials, but this is the Bobbi Brown Brow Kit in Saddle Sash Mahogany. I believe this is the darker one. I'm not entirely sure, but I really like this because they're quite dark brown shades, but they're really cool toned. So I just use this Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, I believe. It doesn't have any rising on it, I think it all rubbed off, but I'm pretty sure this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I just brush out my brows, which really need attending to. And then I just take the angled end and I use the dark colour to draw a line underneath. And also create the kind of tail. and then fill in a little bit, kind of like up to halfway. And then I use the lighter colour on the rest. I kind of leave the very front bit because I kind of blend that out with nothing on the brush, just so it's really soft. So I go kind of up to like 3/4 of the way and fill in with the lighter colour. And then I just take whatever's left on the brush and kind of brush upwards to get the front of my brow, and I don't draw any kind of lines or anything. So yeah, that's it, and I just brush it out. And what I tend to do is I'll do both, and then I'll check they look the same and rub any bits out with my finger or anything like that until they look good and I'm happy with them. They never look identical, but I don't really care too much. So that's the eyebrows done. They do look a little bit dark, but I kind of just keep brushing them out as I do the rest of my makeup, just to make sure it all kind of ties in. But yeah, that's them done. And then next up, I just set them in place with my Illamasqua brow gel. This is in the shade Thrive. I just picked this one up randomly. There's probably loads of colours that could work for me, but I like using just any kind of brown one, just so that it really helps to thicken the brows, so they don't just look entirely powdery. So back onto the base, and for my contour I like to use the Tom Ford shade in Illuminate. This is in Intensity 1. Sometimes I'll use the By Terry Sun Designer palette if I'm in a complete rush, because it's just got the bronzer and then the blush and the highlight, and I can just do everything in one. But if I do have the time, I will use this because I really like how natural it looks, and it's not terribly hard to use. It's just obviously a bit more of a long process than just using a powder bronzer and everything. So I do use a powder bronzer on top of this just to set it. So I take the bronzer colour on this brush, which is a contour brush from Real Techniques, and just kind of contour how you would. I tend to do light layers, so I'll build it up until I get the perfect colour. This product is just so easy to use because it is just so creamy, and if you make a mistake you can literally kind of just rub it out, but I find that I never really do because, like I said, it's just so easy to use. I put a little bit on my temples because this isn't too much of a dark colour, it doesn't stand out too much, so it does just look quite nice and help you to look a little bit more defined and sun-kissed. And I also put like a tiny bit on my nose. I don't contour my nose, I just like it to look a bit bronzed, and then also the centre of my chin. And then with the highlight I just use my fingers because I don't, it gets dirty anyway, but I don't want to be putting the same brush in it, and I just pat it on. And again I put a little bit on the tip of my nose, and I Cupid's bow. This is really subtle, so I do highlight on top of it, but it just gives a really nice natural sheen that more catches the light. You can't really see it too much unless you're moving around and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely in love with this product. It is really expensive, but it does last forever, and it just looks so good on the skin that I think it's really, really worth it. So then onto the powders. I've really been loving Hourglass face products at the moment. I do really love their foundation stick for if I want more coverage, but I've been just loving their ambient light powders and bronzers and strobe powders and everything like that. I think they just look really nice and natural on the skin, and the shades are all just so perfect. So I'm going to be using their ambient lighting bronzer. This is in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. I think this is maybe one of the darker ones, but I just love the colour of this. It's really nice and glowy. So I don't use this on its own, I do use it on top of the Tom Ford. Always, it doesn't really give enough of like a contour for me if I use it on its own, but I find the two together just look perfect. So I kind of do this in a 3. I focus on my kind of cheeks, but I bring it onto my temples again and a little bit on my jaw, because I do fake tan, so it's good for me to kind of bring my bronzer down just to really make sure my face ties in with my neck. And then for blush, I'm going to be using the Ambient Lighting blush in Diffused Heat. And that's the face. I think today actually, because it's Sunday, I'm not going to go in with any highlights, but I will link a few down below which I do like to use frequently. It's just, I think the Tom Ford is enough for today. So moving back onto eyes, I can rarely be bothered to do eyeshadow, so I tend to just take whichever bronzer I'm using and take this NARS fluffy brush, this is number 42, and just put it in my crease just for a little bit of kind of definition and a little bit of colour, just so that it doesn't look like I've left my eyes bare. But I don't really like heavy eye makeup on a daily basis, especially because I tend to scratch my eyes a lot, so it tends to just look terrible by the end of the day. So yeah, I'm just kind of putting this in my crease, but bringing it down a little bit. I'm not really too neat with it. I really like using bronzers as eyeshadow because they're just really nice and warm, and they just really define the eyes nicely without being too heavy or perfect or anything like that. It just creates a really natural shadow, which is just really good for an everyday easy makeup look, especially when I'm not wearing like a really heavy base or anything. And then for mascara, I've been using this. This came in a little set that I got from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's just a mini of their legendary lashes. I didn't like this at first, but it dried up a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, enough so that it had a bit of kind of grip to it within the first like week or so, and now it's absolutely perfect. I've been using it for I think 2 months, and even though it's really mini, it's still lasting, so I'm really happy about that. I don't wear makeup every day, so I'm sure if you were to, it would run out a lot quicker, but for me, these minis actually work really, really well. So yeah, I like my mascara to be quite thick and lengthening, but not too clumpy. I do kind of try and really separate my lashes out as I go along and really accentuate the corners. But yeah, I just really like quite a lot of length and volume. This mascara is just really great because it picks up pretty much every single individual hair, and it very rarely goes clumpy, only if you really, really build it up. But I can reapply this again in the day and it will still look really good. I do a little bit on my bottom lashes, not too much, just like a tiny bit. I barely touch the brush, it's just so that they have something, because I feel like it just ties the eyes together nicely. And then finally for lips, I really like a nude lip, as I'm sure you can tell from my videos, but recently I've been going for more of a pinky nude, so thought I'd show you a few of my favourite products. So firstly for liner, I tend to use MAC liners. I do really like Charlotte Tilbury as well, but I've just been using MAC recently. I swap and change all the time, but at the moment I'm mixing between MAC Spice and MAC Etc. I'd probably say I prefer Etc because it's a little bit lighter, so it's better for kind of everyday, but Spice is really nice as well. I tend to use this maybe more for evenings or if I'm going for like a proper nude lip, but I think today I'm going to use Etc. Unfortunately mine is a little bit broken, so the pencil kind of pops in and out, but it's still good, it still works. So yeah, I just line my lips. I don't really overline or anything anymore. I used to, but I just got bored of keeping up with that and making sure it looked perfect and it didn't look too much, so I just literally line them. And I really like this because it's just a really nice subtle peachy nude, and you don't have to be too perfect with it because it's not something super bold. So yeah, use this first, and then these are my current 2 favourite lip colours. This is the Hourglass Stilo, I can't remember what these are called exactly, in the shade Influencer. This is just a really nice nude colour. As you can see, I've used quite a lot of it. And then the other one is by Burberry, and this is one of their Kisses, Burberry Kisses lipsticks in the shade Pink Peony. And this is like a pinky kind of corally colour, but it's really nice and sheer and kind of glowy. It's not like super glossy or anything, it's just like glowy and soft and buttery. So I really like this because it's not like a heavy pink. It works really well with a nude liner just to make an everyday kind of pink. So I think what I'm going to do is apply this and then put a little bit of this in the centre just to kind of pink it up a little bit. So this is the Hourglass Lip Stilo, and I think this is just a perfect match to the Etc lip pencil. I really like it for just a really nice, light, everyday nude, but I am just going to apply a little bit of this. So yeah, together it just adds a little bit of pink, and I just think it's a little bit more warm and not so nude, and it just makes the whole look a bit more natural for every day. So yeah, this is the finished look. So my camera died literally as I finished filming the tutorial, which is good in a way because at least I managed to film the whole thing, but it meant I didn't get time to film a proper outro. So I've just switched cameras now and I'm just going to film a quick vlog style outro so I can at least say goodbye to you and do my usual little ending. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I love all of these products. This look is just so quick and easy. It probably takes me like 10 minutes or less when I don't film it. So yeah, it's really good for every day, and the products are so glowy and they just make your skin look amazing. So I do really recommend them. I'm going to link them all in the description box so that you can go take a look and pick them up if you like. But if you do have any questions or comments, then do leave them in the comments section and I'll be sure to get back to you and help you out with anything. I'm going to leave all of my social media in the description box as well because I post on there really frequently, and I'm also going to start posting on my blog more. Please do make sure to like this video if you did enjoy it, and please do subscribe to see more of my videos. I'm trying trying to upload weekly, but it might end up being like every other week just because I'm trying to focus on content rather than frequency. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know if you enjoy my tutorials and I'll be sure to film more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!